Welcome to Trippy Commentaries. I'm chilling here in Grand Theft Auto 5 with Mike,
Yo.
FPS Kyle,
Hola amigos,
and Raspo.
Yo guys, RJ, I want to tell you and the guys, I'm really grateful right now to be a part of this commentary. This is actually my first game commentary with you guys.
Nice.
Yeah,
This is awesome.
first time on the GTA.
Yep, I'm excited.
Raspo's a big part of the team here. Definitely grateful to have him, especially part of the Chiliad Mystery here. This is definitely one of the biggest areas when it comes to the Chiliad Mystery, that's for sure. And it's pretty much the most obvious area as well. You have this blatant red arrow. It points to this red dot. And then, of course, right beyond that, you have the UFO. And at first, we didn't know it was anything until we actually got 100% completion. Of course, we weren't able to get it fast enough, but the first person who got 100% completion and discovered the UFO, it was directly above this spot right here.
It's pretty interesting, man.
Definitely an obvious clue to the alien existence here in Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yep.
And like I said, we'll definitely be getting into that. The first thing we wanted to show off is this mural. Everybody, when they talk about the GTA 5 Chiliad Mystery, of course everybody is going to bring up the mural that's on top of Mount Chiliad, which is right next to one of the 3 flying UFOs in the game. But there is a second mural that is also next to a hidden UFO in the game, and that's the one right here, which is this mural. Does it look at all like the other one? Because it's kind of in the same shape, and you have the squares in similar positions, but it looks like it could be symbolizing something else.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little different. I think maybe it's its own mural in itself. Maybe there's a mystery to this one as well that might be different from the Mount Chiliad one. But interesting thing here, RJ, is that we have 2 spots here where there's murals and there's a UFO. Is there a possible mural in Fort Zancudo?
That does make sense. You do have, of course, a mural right here. I mean, by definition, this is definitely a mural right here on the side.
Especially because you have the emblem on top there where we started the video off at too. So
yeah, I mean that's kind of crazy stuff. How you have the power lines circled around it there, and of course there's a lot of stuff going on the other side as well that we'll get to.
It's an interesting shape that they have there with the power lines. I mean, there's a third power line pole here. That, I mean, what is the point of that? Like, look at that, Matt. What purpose is that serving? Like,
It's kind of jutted out over there, ain't it?
it's like we made a little triangle, but it's perfect triangle right over the emblem there at the top. So pretty interesting as well.
So this seems to symbolize that you have UFOs showing up at 3 o'clock. Now the one over Zancudo is always there, but at 3 o'clock you do have the light that shows up right then at that time. Seems to be a specific time here in the game. Other than that, we really don't know what to make of this mural. Now, the one thing that's really interesting is you have the poles that come out right past it. And if you look at the top of the poles, you have that circular shape. It looks very similar to the eye. We kind of caught it a little bit late, but we'll go ahead and reload it. A little bit earlier, you can see it. The circle almost matches up to the circles here on the ground.
Yep. And even more importantly, at the observatory, at the top there, when the sun was at the right position, the shadow almost looks similar to that as well.
So here you can definitely see it. What do you think, K-Mac? It looks pretty similar to the one there at the observatory.
Oh yeah, it does, and it's a pretty weird design they have for the power poles to have that exact same shape on the shadow. But as the day goes on and the sun goes lower, they extend and they kind of line up with these circles that are going around the outside of this here.
Yeah, looks like it links up with the yoga symbols here. Now, of course, we definitely have to bring up the wow signal. For those of you who don't know, this is the biggest thing to proof that we have in the real world that extraterrestrials do exist. It's basically just a random signal that some scientists discovered, and they wrote wow on it right away. It was, to them, proof that something crazy was going on, at least for like 7 seconds, or maybe longer. I forget, but it was just a short signal that they'd never experienced before.
Yep.
Now, we have a symbol on top of this mural of a moon, and on the other side you have a rain cloud, so it seems to be an obvious sign that we need to go to Mount Chiliad at 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
And that's when the UFO will appear. But
yeah, 3 o'clock at night. That's kind of what I take from this, you know.
For sure. It's a good clue. It's one of the more direct clues in the game.
Yep.
But the one thing that I'm also wondering is they keep showing us different moons and different phases of the moon. Are we maybe missing that we need to do something during an eclipse here in GTA? Of course, we've been doing a lot of our experimenting and a lot of our theories when the full moon's out.
Yep.
Maybe it needs to be an eclipse.
Yeah, well, we got that from the full moon party, obviously, so that's where we were thinking, well, maybe something needs to happen there. Well, that's got kind of a crescent moon there, so maybe we have to do something when that, when the moon is that shape. Eclipse would be ridiculous, but let us know if you've seen an eclipse in the game.
Yeah, I've seen something close to it, but not a bona fide eclipse.
Yep.
Maybe I missed it. I'm not really looking at the moon all that much.
Yep.
We got to be on the search for an eclipse here in Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, getting back to the alien presence here in GTA 5, it's hard to tell if this is a clue that aliens are real or if it's all just a build-up to a government conspiracy, because all of the UFOs say FIB on them, or at least this one does, and it's pretty clear the other one is driven by the military. It's right above them, and it has English language written on it.
Well, I mean, the people wouldn't know the difference, and that's, that could be the play on it as well to how real life is. It's the people are going to think it's aliens because they've seen the UFO, or people have been abducted, aka taken by the government, and
either one, I guess,
and drugged and led to believe they were abducted. This is what they're going to believe in. So it's kind of a fun. I think it's just kind of a fun play on that, how real life is, to where a lot of people act like this, where they think they've been abducted, and and it's kind of a realistic spin on it that maybe Rockstar's like, nope, it's just the government. We're just messing with you. Or the aliens are trying to act like they're the FIB.
Now, here's what I think, K-Mac. I think that as far as GTA 5 is concerned, it's really just a diversion tactic. I think the 3 UFOs that we know are most likely created and controlled by the government. And there is one real UFO out there, and it probably looks identical to the one right above us right now. Hell, maybe this one is real, and maybe it's just got the FIB on it, like I said, as a diversion tactic, but that would be in another way. But I think these are the fake UFOs. Maybe there is a real UFO that flies around. Probably hasn't been unlocked. I think it'll be probably part of a DLC. For those of you who've played Fallout 3, that game had an alien DLC, and there was a UFO that was crashed in that game. You'd find it, and you'd get like a ray gun, a really powerful weapon, and then of course, the DLC came out where you eventually get abducted. I think that'll probably happen here in the game. And then the real UFO, of course, will come out, and we'll probably have to interact with it.
Or it's in the game and we haven't found it yet. I mean, maybe that is maybe part of solving this Mount Chiliad mystery, is finding that the real, actual alien-controlled UFO.
Let's go ahead and blow up the space docker here on top of Mount Alien, I guess we'll call it. It's kind of
Mount Happy.
Yeah. Now it's actually based on a real world place called Slab City. That place was praising religious matters, of course, God and Jesus. Here they're praising aliens. So definitely taking it a different direction, that's for sure, as far as this spoof of the real world location is concerned. And let's go ahead and put it on the very top. I believe we collected a spaceship part here, and there is a really weird looking symbol. It kind of has one of the yoga symbols, but it also is circled.
It's an odd place. It's like right kind of in the middle of this whole thing at the top.
I'm not sure if the space dock can put on here. We're going to have to get this up.
It's an off-road vehicle.
Now, another thing I'm wondering is maybe Rockstar is putting these alien references in the game because they want us to be interested in aliens in the real world. Maybe aliens really do exist, and they want us to talk about it, or at least be interested about it.
So what's his name? Stephen Hawking actually believes that there is really aliens out there. He's supposed to be one of the smartest guys in the world, so, I mean, it's possible.
How could they not, dude? I mean, there's alien stuff all over the place from what I've seen.
Really?
There's
What
UFOs.
are you thinking?
Dude, I'm thinking they definitely want us to at least talk about it. It's a good question.
Now, what do you think about aliens, of course, in the real world? Do you think there's any chance?
Well, there is something, it's called the Fermi paradox, where it basically asks, why haven't we had contact with them? if there's so many planets and stars in the world, like why wouldn't there be?
Yeah.
So, and one of the theories is that every now and then there's an extinction event, like life evolves to a certain point and then something happens.
They
where
destroy
just,
it?
Yeah, it could be.
Kind
That's
of
a
human
good- that's a
nature
good
to
question.
destroy things. Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, we don't even know how large the universe is, so to completely discredit there's nothing out there, I don't know. I mean, to me, if you have the right combination of, elements, why can't it be just how it is here? Why can't life exist? So, let's tell this is the only planet in a universe that we don't even know how big it is. That's the only planet that became like that. It's kind of interesting.
I guess the question is, shouldn't there be a civilization that is able to get here and get in contact with us?
Yeah.
I
think so,
you
right?
make a good point though, that maybe you just evolution, everything, it eventually has an end to it. So maybe nothing has been able to get to that level of intelligence to be able to take off and go to another galaxy.
Let us know what you guys think. It's definitely a crazy subject, that's for
Yeah.
sure. Now, you have this arrow on top of the pillar. Where does it lead? And is there another arrow symbol here? Let's go ahead and change the time and show off something that the sun makes appear here at the alien hippie camp.
Yeah.
So now it's right around 7 o'clock in the morning. You can see there is this triangle that forms on the wagon. In fact, if you come a little bit earlier, it's a lot more pronounced, but it looks like an arrow, and it's actually pointing towards the same arrow right here on the pillar. So it seems to be a lot of arrows are pointing in that direction. They really want you to go that way. But what are they pointing towards here? It just seems like it's Fort Zancudo. What's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's where it's pointing at Fort Zancudo, because that's where the other mural could possibly be at.
That's true.
That's where the other UFO's at, so...
And of course, that arrow that we showed you guys is not even the first one. There's another one over here we will drive to. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk to you about in this episode here, K-Mac, is the whole good karma and bad karma theory.
Yeah.
Now, what we did when we got 100% completion in the game is we didn't kill any of the characters that they give you the option to kill in the game. You have one guy where you can, I just kill him on the shores.
Yeah, he's like the Mayan, gang leader or whatever.
Yeah, there's Beverly you can decide to kill. There's a bunch of people, especially towards the end where you have to make some interesting decisions. And so we decided to go with the good karma. We might do another profile to have a bad karma. What do you think, K-Mac? It seems like an awful lot of work, but why are they giving us those decisions?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of clues for that back at the WoW signal. There's a bunch of things that it says karma straight up on it, written around, happiness, all this stuff. So there's definitely some clues there.
That's for sure. Let
You know
us know
what's
what you guys
trippy,
think.
dude, is this game, I always thought this game was supposed to be violent, but now they have like this karma and yoga. I think they're wanting people to think about, maybe their decisions and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely could have
really
a
trippy, dude.
hidden message.
A little hidden
Through
exactly.
a game, I mean, there's tons of people playing this.
That's for sure. Now, over here you have another pillar similar to the one we just saw. There is a hidden glyph here in the sand. It looks pretty much like the ones we see on top of Mount Chiliad. Now, it looks like it's probably resembling Mount Chiliad itself, but it also looks like the small mountain right there at the Altruist camp.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a couple other things that it looks like as well. I mean, it kind of looks like a radio signal. Over here you have some of the WoW signal. And this is very mysterious right here. It looks like an arrow, but it's like a half arrow or something.
I think it might be on the outside of this image. It could be like a mountain in the background or something, because this is kind of an angle. I don't know if that's exactly an arrow, because it doesn't really point towards anything. As we've mapped this out, there's really nothing there for us to find. But one other interesting thing on top of this pillar is there's another red arrow.
Yeah, so this is what looks to be the first arrow, and this is leading you towards Sandy Shores, the UFO location there, the alien hippie camp. And then that one seems to either lead us to Mount Gordo, the alien water towers, which I think is the case, because you have all the same writing on those same exact water towers. And then, of course, a little bit past that, you have Fort Zancudo. So are they leading us to Zancudo just for that last hidden UFO, or is there another mural there at the base?
Or is there an order you have to follow? You have to go from section to section and end up in Fort Zancudo. You got to stop. You got to do the yoga. You got to do all the other stuff on your way to Fort Zancudo.
Yeah, and you have to start it at the correct place, just like in the murder mystery. In that murder mystery, to complete it, you actually have to start at step 1 until you can finish it there. Of course, solving the mystery. So let's go ahead and follow this arrow to finish out this episode. We actually want to give a shout out to Wispy Woods. I'll put a link in the description to his channel. Definitely got to give a shout out to him. He's got some pretty cool things when it comes to the Chiliad Mystery.
A lot of good theories.
Definitely check out his latest video. And also want to give a shout out to Johnny Easton.
Yeah.
The first song we used in this episode is by Johnny Easton. He's got a lot of really good music, so we'll definitely be featuring that here at the channel. Make sure to give him a shout out and subscribe if you guys want to check out more of his music there. And we will go ahead and follow the arrows here and see what they lead to once and for all.
Let's see where this leads.
So this is the first one. It's going to take us over to the alien hippie camp and then across the Alamo Sea. Thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to let us know if you have any ideas when it comes to the aliens here in GTA 5. Perhaps the aliens are the key to the Chiliad mystery. You know, it's the UFOs that we unlock and find. You have the alien presence clearly represented here in a lot of different ways, especially right here at the camp. Perhaps, like we were saying, maybe there's another UFO we need to locate.
We've seen Michael get abducted and taken up to a UFO, so...
We will see you guys in the next episode. Once again, let us know if you have any ideas when it comes to the Chiliad mystery in Grand Theft Auto 5. It really does look like it is probably the biggest mystery in video game history.
Oh, for sure.
I know it sounds crazy, but it is definitely true. You have the mural on top of Mount Chiliad, and to this day it is still unsolved. So definitely looks like it is pointing us straight towards Mount Gordo. I know I'm a little bit to the right here. Let me straighten it off. It's right about here. You can see the alien hippie camp far in the distance. And it pretty much leads us exactly towards, really for me, it's like the peak of Mount Gordo straight ahead.
Yeah.
But also, right here in line with it, you have the alien water towers.
I think it's just another clue, man.
Definitely. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Until then, stay trippy, guys.